Guys, after subscribing to this channel, please make sure that you also press the bell icon so that no notification, no new video of mine, any educational video, is missed by anybody.
Hello and welcome dear students. As you know, the anatomy series is going on, which was made in demand of my students who found it pretty, reading anatomy a drag from the books, and they found it rather interesting if I take lectures or videos on them. And today's topic is going to be very interesting because today I'll be dealing with a very difficult to understand topic, the anatomy of which is very difficult to understand from the book. It took me a while to understand it myself until of course I took a 3D video and understood the video properly, that I understood the spaces. Today we'll be talking about the deep perineal pouch, the superficial perineal pouch. Today we'll be talking about the perineal membrane, the Cole's fascia, what is perineum, what exactly is urogenital triangle, what is anal triangle, what is osteorectal fossa, so on and so forth, which is very difficult to imagine if you just read it from the book. So today I'll be giving you not just diagrams but also video, so that you're able to 3D identify what I'm trying to explain it to you. Otherwise, what's the fun? You've got all the books right there in front of you, the textbooks, the basic books, everything is available. But what will connect you most with my class will be the ease with which now you'll understand the same topic which you otherwise found difficult to understand. So that is one thing. The second thing is the notification which I always give at the beginning of my class. The much awaited DNB December 2022 answer bank is now being uploaded on my app. So everybody who is appearing for the DNB theory examination now in June should have a complete coverage of all the years which have just gone by, which definitely includes the latest paper, which is very, very important. So I would want you to approach me, just download my app, and automatically whosoever purchases the answer bank will get the access to the latest paper. Even if they do purchase it right now, it will be uploaded very soon in the same package. So don't worry, even if the prices are being revised, the people who buy it right now, they'll not be affected. The ones who buy after this announcement, or of course the rise in price, will have to go accordingly. So anyways, these were a couple of announcements. I shall announce even more if I whenever I do remember in between the class. So let's begin with the class without wasting time. So today we'll be talking about, as you can see, the pelvic floor. And just to make it easy, I have this in front of me. We'll be dealing with this part. All right, this part, this is the pelvic floor. So this is how your pelvic bone it looks like. Just this is for a brief recap of the anatomy. So over here you have these pelvic bones. This is the ilium, the iliac crest, okay, and this is of course your pubic bone over here, and then of course this is the ischium, right? These are the ischial tuberosities, as you can see. Just a brief recap as to how to go beyond. So basically it's a muscular diaphragm. I think last lecture I did tell you, but it took me a while to even imagine that. I used to feel, levator and eye muscles go like this, levator and eye muscles go like this is what we've been taught, right? So what happens is, actually it's not just going like this, it's like a bowl. I told you this last lecture. So it's just like this, and this part which you can see in between my fingers, like over here, this is actually like that for the opening of the urethra, the vagina inside. So this is the urogenital hiatus, and the entire bowl is actually the levator and eye muscles, which is why they are so important. So the pelvic floor is actually a muscular diaphragm between the pelvic cavities. You know what pelvic cavity is because you're doing your hysterectomy or cesarean section all in the pelvic cavity. It's something which you can see abdominally, right? The laparoscopy and everything that you do, you're doing it in the pelvic cavity. What you do not see is actually the cavity below that, which is called as the perineal space. And today's discussion will be all about the perineal space because that's very difficult to comprehend. So I'll try to make it easy. So its upper concave surface is lined by pelvic fascia. Remember I spoke to you about, the condensed fascia, the arcus tendinous fascia. You will not be requiring that much. All right. Now I'll talk about the upper concave surface lined by pelvic fascia and is directed downward, backward and in the medial direction, while its lower convex surface is lined by the anal fascia. And now we'll be talking about the muscles of the pelvic floor. So there are two levator and eye muscles, with each further composed of three muscles. So you have the pubococcygeus. Do you understand now? This is the pubis, okay, and this is the coccyx, right? So muscle running from here to here, roughly. Okay, then you have the iliococcygeus, right? So what is iliococcygeus? Obviously a muscle which has got insertion over here and it's running towards the coccyx. So this is the ilium. Okay, this is entire thing is ilium, right? So some muscle which is having its origins from here and is again coming to coccygeus muscle. And then you've got ischiococcygis, and this is the ischial spine, as you can see. So it's encompassing this area, something like this. Okay. So pubococcygeus, now termed as pubovisceral muscle, is subdivided to three parts. So it's pubovaginalis, because it's like a sling. Okay, it's like a sling. It's coming from the pubis bone and it's encompassing inside it, you know, the vagina, the urethra, and of course the rectal, the rectum. So here it's called as pubovaginalis, puboperinealis, puboanalis or puborectalis, muscle which inserts into the vagina, perineal body, and the anus. So it inserts in the, I'm not talking about urethra over here. Did I mention that? So you have vagina, the muscles which insert into the vagina, the perineal body, and the anus. Alright, I'll tell you what perineal body is, what is the composition, how does it come, everything. Then you have the iliococcygeus muscle. Alright, and then comes the ischiococcygis muscle. So roughly, you know, you should know the orientation. Nobody's going to ask you the origin and insertion. You'll get more clear with the the diagram to come, and with the explanation of this. So basically, let's see, the levator and eye muscle has a lateral origin and a central insertion where they join the corresponding muscles from the outer side, from the other side. This is how it becomes. It comes from the lateral side and then it's got a central incision, and then it meets the muscles from the outer side. That's how the bowl is made. All right. Origin of the levator and eye muscle is from the posterior side of the pubis. Okay, this is the posterior pubis. Posterior side of the pubis, arcuate tendon of the pelvic fascia, which I spoke to you, the arcuate tendon, ATFP, ATFL. Pelvic aspect of the ischial spine, there goes the ischial spine, right? Then, and the insertion, extensive region inclined downwards, backwards, and medially. Now it's inserted into the lateral and posterior vaginal wall, which the central point of the perineum, the perineal body, the anal canal and anococcygeal body, lower part of the sacrum, and lateral border of the coccyx. All right. Then of course is the urogenital hiatus. I've spoken to you about before. Urogenital hiatus. Now remember. Then one is urogenital diaphragm, one is urogenital sinus, one is urogenital hiatus. We're talking about hiatus, which is a gap. All right. The urogenital hiatus is an anterior gap bounded anteriorly by the pubic bones, laterally by the pubococcygeus and puborectalis, through which the urethra and the vagina they pass. Remember, all these things will be embossed onto you by the video that I'm going to show you next. The rectal hiatus is a posterior gap. Then there is something which is called as rectal hiatus as well. Posterior gap with the rectum and anal canal through it. Okay. This is the diagram that I wanted to show you. If you can see over here, this is the puborectalis. It's running through and through. It's encompassing the vagina, so it's called as pubococcygeus, of course, which has got two divisions. Pubovaginalis when it slings around the vagina, and when it slings around the rectus, it goes like this. It's like a U shape. So it basically inserts over here, but it's taking a U around like a sling. How is a sling? When you're riding a horse, you put a sling around the neck and you pull it. It's the same way. The hammock people say sling. There are a couple of people who call it the sling theory. So this is basically a sling. Okay, encompassing the rectus becomes puborectalis, and of course it's got, see, these two insertions over here, very rigid tendinous insertions on the coccyx. This is the coccygeus muscle, the ischiococcygis. All right, over here, of course, you've got the obturator internus. I'll tell you more about it when I talk to you about ischiorectal fossa. And then, of course, this piriformis muscle, again, we'll speak about it separately because this got, of course, the origin is over here, but the insertion is at the greater trochanter of the femur, helps in the adduction of the hip and all. So over here, what's more important is just the muscles of the perineum, the muscles which you cut when you're giving episiotomy, many of them, right? I'll talk to you about that as well separately. But right now, we'll just focus on the muscles of the perineum. You know that this levator and eye is called as the pelvic diaphragm. It is actually the diaphragm. Last lecture also I spoke about it. It's like the diaphragm above. It's like something like this. Very tough, muscular flap, or let's say muscle of the body, which separates actually the thoracic cavity from the pelvic cavity, right? Or the peritoneal cavity to be more specific. What this urogenital diaphragm does is to separate the pelvic cavity from the perineal cavity. Or it's not exactly a cavity also, it's just the perineum, you would say. So this is actually lifting your and separating the pelvic cavity or the peritoneal cavity separately, and the perineum and the perineal muscles go down below. So levator again, it's divided to pubococcygeus and ileococcygeus, just coccygeus itself. What is the nerve supply? I spoke in the last lecture itself. You have the inferior rectal nerve and the perineal branch of pudendal nerve. So I told you pudendal nerve is very important when you're talking about perineal perineum, right? And of course you have the inferior rectal nerve as well. As far as the arteries are concerned, you have internal pudendal artery and inferior gluteal artery as the supply. So almost this is not so important.